Um, as a, yeah, this is more, yeah, it's more comfortable. As Benjamin said, I'm an urbanist. I was born in Venezuela, and I've been working the last 7 years in digital fabrication. So in the last 7 years, I started to learn how to make a circuit board, how to program it, experience that alignment moment in which you make something by yourself. And somehow I left my urban studies behind, and again, I'm very lucky because now I managed to be in the moment in which Barcelona is putting forward or setting a new model of cities based on digital fabrication. I'm going to speak about it. But as you can imagine, I'm very interested between the relationship between that exists between technology and humans. And if you see, I'm just going to be 500 years back, not more than that. But if you think about the most interesting, or the last most interesting moments of human history has been powered by big technological empowerment of people. No? The printing press accelerated the connection, or the sharing of knowledge, and basically it finished with the medieval age, and then was let's say the rise of the Renaissance. The steam machine powered industrial revolution. Basically, we live more or less on the consequences of that revolution. And if you think about our modern life, or if you think about the last, at least until the beginning of the 2000s, basically the radio or the wireless communications, radio and TV, and the oil set up what we're in the world that we live in today. No? And that's what we have today. No? So we managed to create a world that is controlled by few, in which we have outsourced all the production capabilities to someone else. So I want to ask you, how many of you have something that you produce by yourself with you? No. That's the thing. It's a great number considering the last audience I've been dealing with, because basically we have give the knowledge or even the power of production to someone else. Okay, what makes us dependent of those? What we have created now, based on the introduction of the production line, is an standardized world in which you can buy mostly the same brands wherever you are. Okay, and you can buy it just by choosing from the options that you are given to. So you don't decide those options. You have to pick up from the shelves. And then what happens is that this new renaissance of these last almost 100 years have led us to this. No? We are basically sitting in your office, in your house, clicking or browsing in the internet, buying through Amazon, and just wait for things to come. No? And this is let's say, if you think about the newest technological revolutions, it seems like many people is looking out into wearable technologies, and Google, as you know, Google Glass have been featured in mostly everywhere. We have robotics as a new technology also that many people is putting money on it, or flying drones. No? So it seems like the future is going to be led by computers embedded in our body, flying things, and robots that can basically destroy us. No? And if you think this is the year 2019, like the vision of the future, no? Wow, that's very nice. I don't see any different from what we have. It's just, you will be sitting, and then these flying drones will deliver you pizzas or whatever you buy. So, but this, the thing about thinking about the future might be an idea of the past, right? So we have had many years before many futurists saying, okay, what is going to be next? What is going to be next? And always thinking ahead. No? And these are some images, no, of how people picture the year 2000, a couple centuries ago. But the thing is that the future is happening, and I'm going to explain how and why. No? In the last 50 years, we have acquired, let's say, 2 new technologies that are basically changing our life. The ability of computation, that is basically enhancing the capabilities of the power that we have to process information and to produce it. And also the internet, not always basically moving from, if you think about the TV or the radio, the power that who broadcasts is concentrated in one person again. But with the internet, having this distributed ability of anyone can be a producer of content, change the rules of the game, no? And then this is what I think that is powering the contemporary life. If you think about, we have only lived 10 years with these kind of things that are basically, for some people, is basic, fundamental to work in our everyday life. So these tools have allowed us to be producers of content, digital content, and share it in real time with millions of people. No one is administrating it so far. Maybe we're going to lose it in some point, it seems like. But they can spy on your information, but still there is no one controlling what comes in and out. And we're using it very usefully. Sometimes we love to share what we eat, and this is us, a producer of contents. We can use the tools in a very stupid way. But I think that there is something very interesting. Is like, besides the fact that, or considering the fact that we have this capability, this power of creation of information, there is of course some people. I don't know if you have been the rich kids of Instagram. If you go, it's like a Tumblr blog, and you can see that the most stupid pictures taken that rich kids spending a lot of money. It's about enhancing themselves. But what I think is that this moment, again, taking in consideration that the future is now, is also important. Not only be special. Maybe before it was about being special, how I dress, how different I am. But now it's about being useful for others, no? And we have we have the tools to do it. So, and as I said before, we might use technology in a very dumb way, but technology can power other very interesting stuff. And this is using digital technologies to promote a political change in an entire country. As you might know, this is Plaza Tahrir in Cairo. No. So as I said before, 50 years of personal computation, around 20 years of internet. And then what happens when we introduce also the ability of produce everything everywhere? And I'm not talking only about 3D printing that most people might be seeing in the big media. No? These tools, Arduino, it was funny, at the same time that Facebook was created, Arduino was created in 2004 in the Brea Institute. So one of the co-founders, Massimo Banzi, as Benjamin mentioned before, was the second two in this list, which reminds you how lucky I am. In around 2004 and 2005, Adrian Boyer and Vic Oliver create the RevRap project, which is basically an open source 3D printer, beating the big companies like Stratasys that were owning the patents of fused deposition modeling. It's basically machines that extrude plastic and construct things in 3 dimensions. But that time, or before 2004, a machine was 20,000 euros, between 20 and 25,000 euros. These guys raised down the price to less than 1,000 euros in parts, and most importantly, the machine could produce parts of itself. No? And they made it open. So this was the starting of MakerBot and all the 3D printers that you might see nowadays all over the place. So as you can see now, we're having access to tools. I mean, if you think about the digital life, we have been having access to tools to produce content, but now we're having access to tools to make stuff, to make our own tools. And this is where it comes Fab Labs. It's what I'm saying is that 3D printing is one part of it, but then what is a Fab Lab is a place, some places as this big or maybe a little bit smaller, in which you can find maybe one 3D printed, but other 10 machines that will be useful for you to make stuff. More importantly, you will connect with a local community, and even more importantly, you will connect also with a global community, which is the Fab Lab network. It started as a project of a Center for Bits and Atoms at MIT, and now has become in a network of 300 labs all over the world. No? That are located, as you can see, most all over the place. This is a platform that we are building in Fab Lab Barcelona to connect these Fab Labs together. So this comes when I'm going to talk briefly about Fab Lab Barcelona, which I'm directing now, but I have like an amazing team that is around here, Alex, Anastasia, and John also. And we are doing many different things. No? It's inside the Institute for Advanced Architecture of Catalonia, but we understand architecture in a very broad way. And I will tell you why. We are located in the 22 of Barcelona city, just like a 15-minute walk to the city center. And it's this old warehouse that we have invaded and set up a place in which we have the architecture school, but also this fabrication laboratory to make big projects and to run different research and educational programs. This is how it looks, the big space. This is how it looks, the Fab Lab, messy, very, very messy, very disorganized, but in a kind of creative disorder, which we love. And we have been part not only of, we have an impact that is not only local, but also global. As I said, we're creating this platform for the Fab Labs to share content, but also we co-founded with MIT the Fab Academy, which actually been the educational program of the Fab Labs. It's teaching to people how to make stuff, right? In a very high level, let's say, no? Basically, you can follow an MIT class from anywhere in the world if you are close in a Fab Lab. And that's the Fab Academy. We have made projects as an entire house. This is the more architectural part. And this is the Fab Lab house we did in 2010 for the Solar Decathlon competition, which we lost. We were the last ones, but we won the People's Choice Award because we were giving wine and ham to people to come to the house. We did a second version of the house. This is sitting in the seaside area of Barcelona. And it's a solar prototype that we did for Endesa, and it's a demonstrator of smart cities. And maybe it's going to become now like a cafe or restaurant. And we're thinking of putting a mini Fab Lab inside. It's in the best spot of Barcelona in the seaside. This is a project I co-founded a couple of years ago. It's a Smart Citizen. It's an environmental sensing platform for anyone to capture data in the city. It's about putting the tools for citizens to be smart in the smart cities and not being stupid just to follow what IBM, Intel, or Cisco say. No? This has been crowdfunded in Kickstarter, and now we have near 1,000 sensors all over the planet. This is open source beehives, which is actually enhanced beehives with sensors that allows to monitor the actually state of the bee colonies. John is going to talk about it in detail in the afternoon. Crowdfunded as well, just recently, acquiring the 300% of the initial goal. This is the Green Fab Lab that we have in a big park outside Barcelona. It's our next big project. It's 100 square kilometers, no, 100 hectares, sorry, 100 hectares. 100 square kilometers is Barcelona. 100 hectares. Farmhouse that is like 15 minutes from the city, from the city center, in which we're developing a center for research in self-sufficiency based in 3 labs: an energy lab, a food lab, and a green Fab Lab. And then we have the Fab City. We go to the 100 square kilometers now, which is Barcelona. So what we have learned during all these years in Fab Lab Barcelona is not becoming a public program of fabrication laboratories deployed by the city council in the city. And they are becoming a new infrastructure of a public service in which people are having access to tools to make tools, which is something that hasn't happened yet anywhere else, right? But what it's a real challenge here is to see, maybe Vicente is going to talk tomorrow, Vicente Guayard, the chief architect of Barcelona, is going to talk about tomorrow, is that what happens when this emerging community of Fab Labs is being, let's say, it's being kept by a public organization like the City Council, and how negotiate the centralized vision of how things work with a distributed one. That's one of the challenges, and this is why we think about the Fab City, not about like Fab Labs opened by the City Council of Barcelona, but basically a mixed network of maker spaces, hacker spaces, Fab Labs, Fab Cafes, and these public services by the City Council being articulated also with local companies and industries, right? So this is the vision for the next 6 years. It's actually to have 1 Fab Lab per district in Barcelona, at least 1 big Fab Lab in which people can come and make from a circuit board to their own furniture for their house. And it's happening. Now, today we have 4 of them already open. And then this connects with this is going to be launched officially by the mayor of Barcelona and in the Fab conference. And this, in a couple months, actually, we are partner events with Ouishare, in which we're launching, basically, we say there had been 10 years of Fab Labs, this is the 10th annual meeting of Fab Labs, we're going to start the next 90 years of Fab Cities. And it's basically related with what I talked before. It's how you can recover productivity into cities, how you bring back production, the knowledge of production, and how we can create a transition from a city that imports things and produces trash to a city that closes the cycle of the matter within its limits. No? And also, more importantly, again, I'm going to remark this, is recovering the ability of the power that gives the knowledge of making stuff that we have lost. No? It says that time is up, but I'm going to finish very quickly. You can register. This is from the 2nd to 8th of July. This is the publicity part of my talk. And it will be a week of workshops, conferences. There will be the Fab City Symposium with very important speakers that are going to be announced this week. This is more or less how it looks, the calendar. And we think that the Fab City project is around these three things. And this is how we see the connection with other movements like the collaborative economy. This is part of a bigger picture of the transition that we're heading to. No? And I think that with that, I'm done. Thank you.